Hello everyone and welcome to Looking at the Test. So I'm sitting here with your Unit 3 test and I'm going to just talk to you about what I see as I look at it. Interesting. As I look here, something very, very important. I see a lot of questions about assimilation, acculturation. I see a lot of questions about diffusion, and I see a lot of questions that came up in your practice questions. So if you did well on those, you're probably going to be okay. But remember what assimilation is. Make sure you know that. Make sure you know the difference between folk and popular culture. Make sure you know ethnocentrism. Make sure you know cultural relativism. There are just so many questions on this test about cultural landscapes and about cultural diffusion. I see here an example of a cultural landscape, and you just kind of telling me where it may have come from. I see here a pretty straightforward definition question about cultural diffusion. Let's see, what else do I see here? I see a question about religion and the area that it came from. What was its hearth? Make sure that you know how to use terms like that, like hearth, because I'm not just going to ask you where did a religion come from. I'm going to say what was its hearth, because that's a human geography term. I see here a question about diffusion of goods. I see a question here that asks you about the difference between relocation diffusion, stimulus diffusion, contagious diffusion, hierarchical diffusion, and expansion diffusion. So it would definitely, you'd need to know about that. This is a question about how language spread from one area to another. I see a question about ethnic neighborhoods. Other than that, a lot of religion questions on here as far as specifically how religion spread and kind of the regions where they came from. I see a lot of questions about cultural diffusion. I see a lot of questions about language, but specifically how language spreads from one place to another. Here I see a map asking where people likely came from because of the language that they speak. So as long as you come in with a mindset of problem solving on this particular test, you likely know these definitions pretty well. So come in ready to look at a situation and move things around in your mind and decide on the best answer, because it isn't just going to be questions of definitions as always with this test. So to sum it up, make sure that you know types of culture like popular culture, folk culture. Make sure that you know the types of cultural diffusion. Make sure you know hearths and specifically the major religions, where they came from. Make sure that you know the basics of language and sort of where those languages come from and how they spread. And that's really about it. Make sure that you know all the basic definitions, and if you have any questions, just let me know.